Hi there and welcome along to another edition of What's the Word in association with Ladbrokes, joined this week by James Mordaunt from Ladbrokes. How are you, James? All right?
Yeah, not too bad. Tommy, yourself?
Yeah, good, good. Johnny Ward is back.
How are you, Tom?
Some travels since we last saw you.
Bit of travels.
That's some t-shirt.
I
I couldn't pull that off now.
Cut the mustard once this weekend.
Yeah, it's a bit like Marmite.
Yeah, it's great to be back. I was just saying to you beforehand, sure we get used to this weather now. It's Mediterranean.
Yeah, but you lost your sunglasses. You're ruined.
I didn't lose them. They're damaged.
Oh,
but they could have come in handy today. It's very warm out there.
And Jenna, you're back as well?
I am. I'm back. Looking forward to this weekend, even though it's the Flash, but it's good competitive racing.
You tipped two more winners in the flat last week than you did in the previous one.
Yeah, maybe I found my niche at last. After 33 years.
Speaking of the flat, we won't speak of the flat. We'll talk about the Grand National. It's only a week out, right? And this is going to be what people like us who are inside racing, people outside racing actually talk to us for this next week or so and be like, go on. So
they asked for the hardest race to solve the whole year.
Yeah, exactly. It's come to any other day of the year.
And this might actually tempt people to switch off now, but I don't think I have ever backed the Grand National winner.
I haven't either. Yeah.
Compliant.
And the next part of the show
yeah,
is tipping the Grand National winner.
I backed Hedgehog the year before he won the race.
Oh, okay.
I think I backed a few the year after as well.
Your best, you don't necessarily have to give us the winner, but the best bet in the race. Who do you think is the best bet in the race at the moment?
At the moment, at the prices, the two I like are Rock the Casbah for Philip Hobbs and Richard Johnson. I just think flat track, left-handed, has been trained for the race, goes well fresh. I think he's got a cracking chance. And the other one would be Yala Enki for Venetia Williams, who I thought ran reasonably well. Like, it was a good trial, I thought, in Cheltenham. And they'd be the two I like at big prices. But I can't even tell you how bad my record is. My best finish was probably the year the Drew's nephew fell when he was 5 lengths clear. That was like, I was getting excited. That's the most excited I've ever got in the Grand National. And there was about 7 fences left.
Okay, what about you, Johnny? What do you think is the best bet?
I genuinely think the top class handicap chases are the worst betting mediums you can ever get.
I couldn't agree more.
This is the worst of the worst. But Tiger Roll's price it's almost as if the bookmakers are getting ready for the public gamble on him. You can imagine just a lot of people backing him for the reason that he's very popular, but he's surely to God he can't be. He's £9 higher than last year when he was all out to win.
It's probably more than a £9 better horse this year though.
Possibly. His performance at Navan was extraordinary. Cheltenham, extraordinary. But for a lot has to go right in this race. He's still a handy horse who has to get over the fences.
I think actually with Tiger Roll, I think he'll either win or fall. I don't think there's any in between. I think if he gets around, he won't be placed or anything. He'll win easily. But I think it's one or the other.
Yeah.
I know that's a strange thing to say.
Yeah. No, well, it does make.
I wouldn't be advising people to back him each way, even 6 or 7 places at that price.
I mean, he won ahead in the photo last year because I was watching Jumps Girls.
Yeah, he did. Davey lost his irons at one stage.
Value for more than that.
James is going to say the same thing with Maldini. 3rd season novice. I think Rule the World was a 2nd season novice.
Yeah.
Was he?
He hadn't won over fences either. So
again, we spoke about presenting Percy getting away with it at Cheltenham, which he didn't. Maldini's had a fairly quiet campaign, but he has a bit of chase experience this season. He's a brilliant jumper. He's absolutely going to love the ground, and he'll be down at the foot of the weights. And he's very much unlike Tiger Roll in that he probably won't win, but he could well finish 2nd, 3rd, or 4th.
Yeah. Well, he picked up a bit of snake eater money for me in the testies as well. He somehow stayed on for 6 and looked he's going to be last at one stage. James, what about you? Do you have a bet for the National?
I do like Maldini each way. Like David said, I do think Tiger Roll is probably the likeliest winner, and the market would suggest that. But I like the chances of Lakeview Lad as well at a bit of a bigger price. 14s now. Price is collapsing on him, but for Nick Alexander, I think he's been campaigned towards a race like this, and of course in the Trevor Hemming Silks that won it a few times as well. So I think Tiger Roll, but Maldini and Lakeview Lad will probably be the each way plays for me.
Okay, well, first leg of the Spring Double comes up on Saturday at 3:35. The Lincoln, and similar to the Grand National, we've got a pretty short price favourite in this. Ozair hits all those trends patterns, 4 years of age, very progressive. Looks a group horse in a handicap, gets in here off 100. How do we bet?
Yeah, Auxerre is at 7-2. They go Kinran 9-1. Saltonstall is the gamble during the week at 10s. Beringer 11s away and at 11 as well. Humbert at 11, and then it's 12s are bigger about the rest. Yeah,
Saltonstall been back. I don't think he's too many pounds up his sleeve, does he?
He is interesting though. Ado's had a great winter campaign with his horses. And if Ado were to win a biggish handicap in Galway, it wouldn't be that unusual for him to win the biggest handicap in England. Is pretty much unheard of. I thought the horse was quite short. You're taking a fair bit on trust. It's not like he was trained by a mug up until now either, you know. And,
yeah, absolutely. And he was highly tried and really competitive handicaps.
Coming back from his, like, Ozair is sort of one of those horses you could probably have a saver on relative to your other selections. So you have a quarter of your main selection on Ozair because, you know, he probably is, like, he's one of the lighter, certainly the lightest horses in the race, in that he's had, 4 starts. He has to be a group horse and handicap to win this, but a fair bit has to go right as well at 4-1. Philip Kirby, they procured Black Lion to run in the National, and he's not running the race now. It's looking a bit of a mess, really. That's for the money that they paid for him. It was a lot of money based on the gamble of him winning the National. But he does have South Seas that they got off Andrew Balding.
Yeah.
This horse, I don't know if he'd prefer it maybe a little bit softer. I don't think it's going to be. I think it'll probably be goodish ground at Doncaster, but he's actually fine on nice ground. He ran really, really well his first 2 starts last season at Chester, particularly laterally behind Bowery's. He missed the break both times, which is obviously a disaster around Chester. But he ran on really well. He's come down a nice bit in the weights. Jamie Spencer is a very eye-catching book, and he'll need luck and running, but it should be fine in a race of this nature. Yeah. Basically, it's not going to be anything like Chester. And he's sort of 14-1 of that. He'd be my selection. I think Philip Kirby's a very good trainer.
Go on, Jenna. You gave us the winner of the Irish Lincoln last year.
Yeah, like I know you're sweet in Oxair, and I can certainly see it. Like, he could just be different class. Like, but at the prices, the 2 I like. The first of them is Beringer at 11-1. Like, you go back through his form of last season, he traded at 1.06 at York against Wizza Hicken in a handicap. He looked all over a winner. Wizza Hicken ran that day off 94, Beringer off 90. Wizza Hicken is now rated 117, whereas Beringer's only £4 higher. So, like, it's a really good form line. He's really unexposed over a mile as well. He's been run over 1 mile too, and I think not quite getting home. He's traded quite short and run on a couple of occasions. Andrea Atzeni has been booked for this ride, and I think he's got a massive chance. Alan King has had 8 winners in the last fortnight, and his other runner in the race is 40-1. Chatez. There's no way this horse should be 40-1. He won the Spring Mile on this card 4 years ago off a mark of 93. He bolted up that day by 3 lengths. He's only off 96 here. And I really fancied him in a hurdle race, in a hot hurdle at Ascot last time, because he had finished second to the good handicapper of Harry Fry's. The name escapes me, but I really fancied him. He jumped early, was too keen. He's a better horse on the flat, and a 40-1 Chatez, I think he'll run a cracker. But Beringer will be my first choice.
Yeah. I'm all over his air here. Physically, he's super. He's a wonderful looking animal as well. Like, yeah, last year you see him beating those other 3-year-olds. He's a hand bigger than everything else. I was worried slightly that because he hasn't had much experience in big fields, that'd be a problem. But he's huge, physically imposing sort, so it doesn't look like it should be an issue for him. Anyway, elsewhere in the Doncaster card, anything catching your eye early on?
Yeah. My strongest fancy the whole day is
fancy of the day.
Yeah, is in the 150 equilateral for Charlie Hills and Andrea Atzeni, who I hope could be a good day for. This horse is a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde character, but you can forget his run last time with Dundalk. He was hampered early, was forced wide, nothing went right. He's 1-1 at Doncaster. He's won after a 251-day break and a 52-day break, so he goes really well fresh. I'd imagine this has been the plan for quite a while, and Charlie Hills, his horses, of his last 4 runners, 3 of them have won and 1 of them was just beaten. So his horses are really firing on all cylinders at the moment. I think this is almost a Grade 1 sprinter, Group 1 sprinter, sorry. And I think he's going to be very hard to beat. If he gets into a rhythm early, I think he'll win. I'd be surprised if he was beaten. That is equilateral.
Equilateral elsewhere in the Doncaster card. There's racing at Navan on Sunday as well, or Saturday rather as well. Second turf flat card of the season. The 250 there is probably the list is with the Cork Stakes at Navan. So obviously
just the 3 hours from Cork.
Yeah, only 3 hours. Yeah, James, you fancy one here as well?
Yeah, I do fancy Smash Williams for Jim Bulger and Kevin Manning. His win last time was over 7 furlongs, so it comes back down in trip. That's a slight bit of a worry, but he has ran over 6 furlongs, ran well in sprint events as well, and I just think the form Jim Bulger's in lately, that he could be very hard beaten. Smash Williams in the listed Cork Stakes.
I think
the problem for me with Smash Williams would be the amount of times in between drinks for him on occasion. Yeah. He rarely backs up, but yeah, go on.
He's by Fracca, and I think Jim Bulger, he got Smash Williams, and he was like, who's this Fracca fella? And Fracca was available in Galway for like basically a couple of bags of spuds at that time in terms of his price. I think Jim Bulger sent around 30 mares to Fracka on the back of Smash Williams, and to the best of my knowledge, this year they're running their 2-year-olds this year.
Okay.
So keep an eye out for
Keep
them.
an eye out for.
I'm going to take.
El, you're going to take on Smash Williams.
Yeah, I'm going to take, and it's interesting because I'm taking
Sergei Prokofiev as well, of course.
Yeah, Sergei Prokofiev is in a son of rest. It's a really good race, and ratings suggest that my fancy cannot win it. But I think Medicine Jack, this could be the day to catch him. He actually beat Smash Williams first time out last year at Nace.
He's an absolute Fruit Loop as well. He could do anything.
Yeah, he could do anything, and I just think he goes well fresh. Ger started the season obviously well, winning the Lincoln last year. This is his bread and butter. He's not going to win any Group 1 sprints or anything like that. So he's given weight to horses that are rated higher than him, which is a bit of a worry. But I just think he could be potentially a double figure price. I thought he'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'll be with Son of Rest in that race for what it's worth. Elsewhere on the Saturday cards, you like them later on. 5:45, won at Dundalk a couple of weeks ago, Johnny.
Yeah, DJ referenced Ger Lyons having a good start. Jim Bulger's start was beyond the sounding, really. He didn't have a bad winter, and Dundalk wouldn't be really a place that he'd normally target. I don't think Jim has actually ever been to Dundalk. He's literally never been to the track. Which is a little bit of a disservice to the track considering it's prime. But anyway, Cuban Hope has been to Dundalk, and I put him up for as a post-Cheltenham get out of jail card, and he did win, but I didn't really get out of jail. I didn't have enough on him, and he ended up kind of drifting like a barge. But I got a bad price, and it was just summed up my
Did you
week.
have a good Cheltenham?
No, I did.
That's Port Allen, no?
A good start, but then it derailed. I was down a bit, nothing major, but I had a poor enough week. But Cuban Hope, he's absolutely crying out for this trip. He won over a mile. Kevin Manning was very good in him the last day. He won by a head or a neck. I think he won a bit snugger than that.
Yeah.
Now, the favourite, who was well backed, ran a stinker.
Isosceles.
Yeah.
Definitely one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, because really well backed, and Cuban Hope drift like a barge. He's drawn 1, he's stepping up to Navan, and he's stepping up to a mile and 2. So I think this race is, it could even be a 2-mile horse, this fella, the way he races. Really, really like him. Now he's run against
Yeah, in the race before that, you like one as well.
Yeah, he's run against Whitsunday Islands as well, who's an Australia horse rated 68 from Aiden's. I'm not sure how Australia's going to get on as a stallion. This horse, he is mildly interesting if there was money. In the race before that, Richard O'Brien's horse, Cautious Approach, filly by an ex-gym trained horse, and Dawn Approach, won nicely at Dundalk earlier on in the month, and ran really well at Navan in a back-end maiden. I think running off 68, is it? 66 rather. Probably not badly in going back into a handicap here in what looks a very average race.
Anything else in the Navan card, Joe? You put your hand up there.
Yeah, okay. Can I talk?
Yes, sir.
In just 2 more in England. In the 225 at Doncaster, Al Jalabi for Clive Cox and Adam Kirby. I think he can make all. Stall 16 on the rail. And one other one at Kempton in the staying race, the 1 mile 3 race. It is Casper the Cub. For that man, Alan King. I'm hoping last week it was Sean Bowen.
Sean Bowen.
Today,
actually, in fairness, he did get a boy.
He had the first 2 up. Yeah, it was fantastic. I got really excited. But I think this could be an Alan King Saturday to savour. So Casper the Cub in the 3:15 at Kempton as well.
Saturday to savour. I like that. In Dubai, couple of quick selections in Dubai. You both like Almond Eye?
Yeah, like any Japanese trained middle distance horse, you'd have to kind of take note of. And I've been just reading up on her. And the whole, I suppose, the idea of running her on the turf was fairly obvious, but she's probably different gravy. I think she's been beaten once.
Fair enough. Right, let's move on to the Sunday action.
Can I just give up one at a huge price?
At a huge price?
Yeah, it's in the 4 o'clock. And at Maidan.
At Maidan,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. Sorry, it's called Desert Encounter for David Simcock and Jim Crowley. I thought it ran really well last time in that prep, and it won the Canadian International in October. And I just think the race is tailor-made for Desert Encounter. I could see it striking late, and this horse could be 40 to 1, and I think it could just sneak into a place. It could
be 40 to 1.
Yeah, it could.
40 to 1.
Chattez and Desert Encounter.
If you give it that E-Trade double. Ah, stop.
Yeah, Desert Encounter.
You'd be saying,
4
Richie,
o'clock.
stick your job.
Yeah, I could.
Right, cool. Let's move on to the Sunday action at Limerick. That 4:05, the feature event from there is at Grade 3 Hugh McMahon Memorial Novices Chase. Anything float you about in this one?
Yeah, I like Burrow Saint. I thought Burrow Saint.
We agree on something.
Yes, at last. Well, I don't know if I should be saying yes, should I? Burrow Saint, I thought was spectacular is probably too strong a word, but was very, very impressive, I thought, at Gorham Park, where it made a couple of noteworthy mistakes. I was all over Manila Fair in that race, who ran like a hairy goat. And I have no idea why he ran so bad, because I think he's a very good horse. But I do think that Burrow Saint is potentially a top chaser in the making, and this looks a good stepping stone because Robin the Foray might make his price as well.
Good stuff.
I don't think he will.
You're with.
Geez, I don't. The Ruby's riding Borough Saints, and
but does that mean he's second string?
No, but he's if Robin DeForest after the way he ran at Naas is the first string here, I'd be amazed. I honestly went through this race and you couldn't fancy anything apart from Borough Saint. It's just negative, not good enough, won't stay, ran rubbish the last day. I did a piece online today, you can get on my Twitter feed, about the horses that Richie has to come out in the next month or two. It's incredible, and next season, most of his horses are 6 years of age or under, and obviously Richie's been in the news lately for the
for all the right reasons today.
Well, today he's turned around,
albeit coming from wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But in any event, you'd forget about a lot of the horses that just haven't run this season or have gone absent because of the way the ground has been or injury or whatever.
Did you back Animix during the week?
No, actually I didn't. I just no real interest. Surprised. Didn't think he was impressive either. But this Borough Saint, he looks a bit of a good thing because there's nothing to beat him really, I think.
Good stuff. Elsewhere on the Limerick cards you like going at 1/2-3? You said this might be one of your bets of the weekend.
Yeah, Gavin Cromwell, he had the first, second and fourth, or first, third and fourth in this Naas race, in which Muta Dafek was fourth. Ming Dynasty, who's very in and out and flops in, so I wouldn't mind that. He actually won the race. Muta Dafek was by New Approach, of course, Dawn Approach, his dad, and the horse that was decent on the flat. He was very eye-catching at Naas. He was miles out of his ground, flashed home. And the only thing is now Tashman is in the race as well. He ran very well at Naas in his last start, also for Gavin. He's had an outstanding run. What can we say, winning the champion hurdle and all of that. But this horse looks fascinating to me. And Conor McNamara, who's riding him, obviously a local lad.
Yeah.
I don't think you can read much into that, but he's a very good rider.
Yeah, he's good.
And I think he's a great chance. I just hope he's solid enough in the betting.
Yeah, Muta Dafek. Anything else in the Limerick card for you?
No, I'm going to go to Ascot. There's a really good jumps card at Ascot. And this 245, it is a juvenile handicap hurdle, and I'd be all over Scaramanga for Paul Nicholls, who's won the race twice in the last 3 years with Adrian Dupont and Malaya. I think Scaramanga could be potentially better than those. Rated 85 in the flat for James Fanshawe. Absolutely bolted up at Taunton. Travelled and jumped like a dream there. It's rated 127. I'd say he's a long way ahead of that mark, and I'd be disappointed if Scaramanga can't win that 245.
Cool. Scaramanga at Ascot Sunday. Anything else for you on Sunday, James?
I was looking at the same race as David there. I like Leva for Donald McCain and Daryl Jacob in that race. The Simon Muneer colours. He won 2 of its last 4 races. It's probably stepping up a good bit in grade here.
You know what I'd do with him, James? Leave it.
Leave it.
Hey.
Leave it. There we go now. Jokes, yeah, but like David said there, it's probably
you don't have to laugh, James. You don't have to laugh.
Absolutely delighted with himself. Why are we patting in the back? Right, let's move on to our best bets of the weekend then. Of course, Lavik says best odds guaranteed early doors in shop. So go on, give us a treble for the weekend, James. Let's start with you.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Dubai for 2 with Dream Castle in the 3:20 at Maidan, Old Persian in the 4 o'clock at Maidan, and then back here in Navan, I'm going to go with Smash Williams in the 2:50.
Okie doke. Johnny, 3 for the weekend.
I'll go with a sort of an each way treble, I think, with Cuban Hope in the 5:45 at Navan, and Borough Saint in the big race at Limerick, which is 4:05, and into the race before it, then Muta Dafek in the 3:30, both at Limerick on Sunday.
Good stuff. Just the 3 for the weekend, James.
Just the 3.
Just
okay,
the
I'll
3.
narrow it down. Equilateral is my banker of the weekend in the 150 at Doncaster. In the 3:40 at Ascot, Not What I Am. That should win. And on Sunday in the 2:45 at Ascot, Scaramanga.
Good stuff. And my best bet of the weekend is Ozair in the Lincoln. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll be back again next week with more What's the Word?